Angeles community affected by the devastating wildfires. We stand with you. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, our hearts go out to those who've lost loved ones, homes, businesses, belongings, and precious memories. In these challenging times, we're here to keep you informed and connected. For the latest updates, resources, and ways to help your neighbors in need, stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580. Together, we'll rebuild. Together, we'll recover. Together, we are Los Angeles strong. KBLA Talk 1580. Your voice, your community, your station.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Toxic trait today is wanting to be felt, heard, and seen, right? And it's not because we don't deserve to be understood, but because this relentless need for what it is, which is external validation, I just feel like it's eroding our sense of resilience. Every time something feels uncomfortable is labeled as a threat to our mental health. Not every uncomfortable moment is trauma, and not every difficult situation is harmful to your nervous system. Our inability to distinguish
Andy, play that again. Who is this beautiful clinician? This sister right here. Raquel, capacity expert. Listen, this beautiful sister, this clinician here, is on complete fire. And she is saying something that I believe to be so profound that I had to jump off. Like, I have a whole bunch of topics that me and Atala, we put together some topics. I got a bunch of them lined up. I said, I'm jumping off script. Because, and I think I sent this to Andy at midnight. Last night. I was like, what in the world? Andy, we got to go here now. Listen to what she says one more time.
So what I believe is the most toxic trait today is wanting to be felt, heard, and seen, right? And it's not because we don't deserve to be understood, but because this relentless need for what it is, which is external validation, I just feel like it's eroding our sense of resilience. Every time something feels uncomfortable is labeled as a threat to our mental health. Not every uncomfortable moment is trauma, and not every difficult situation is harmful to your nervous system. Our inability to distinguish between genuine threats and opportunities for growth is what's actually dysregulating us, if you ask me. The overuse of terms like mental health and nervous system regulation, it's created a culture where discomfort is demonized and we're losing the ability to thrive in some cases. Some people are just losing the ability to just cope. This is why I speak so much about capacity, because it's rooted in developing us as adults to be able to handle the modern day world as it is, not as we wish it to be.
Hey, if she ain't cooking, I don't know what it is. I remember I used to drink water out of the water hose. I remember I used to be outside for 12 hours a day. You understand me? Hey, man, we were a different generation of kids back then. I remember we stole lumber and built a clubhouse. We don't know nothing about carpentry, but we built a clubhouse. I remember we used to take shopping carts and take the wheels off and build go-karts and hit the streets, all in traffic. And we made it home every night. I'm just saying, it's a different situation. And so it caused me to develop tonight's topic. Craving. That's our topic. Do you agree or disagree? Today's most toxic relationship trait is the desire to be felt, seen, and heard by our significant others. Now, listen, I'm not here to say you shouldn't be felt, seen, and heard. But I am here to say you shouldn't be addicted to it. You shouldn't have the Bobby Brown jaw. I'm sorry. You shouldn't look like Tyrone Biggums. You got some more validation. You see what Instagram and X and social media has done? Craving. And what are we craving? Validation, acknowledgement. Huh? That's why you put a filter on top of your makeup. Oh, gosh. That's why old guys are dyeing their gray hair. My uncle's 78 years old. I said, listen, man. I said, let your gray hair show. I'm 35 years younger than you. Right? And I'm sorry. I'm 35 years younger than you, Unc. He's 78. I said, I let my gray hair show, man. Come on. You got a whole, I mean, it's blacked out. Like, just everything is. Validation is the new addiction. Is the craving for attention destroying modern relationships? The psychological parallels between validation and substance addiction. Why social media is the gateway drug for emotional dependency. How the need to be seen erodes intimacy and vulnerability. The relentless pursuit of external validation is the emotional equivalent of chasing a high, leaving modern relationships hollow and transactional. Are we trading authentic connection for fleeting dopamine hits? Now, listen. I understand attachment theory. I get it. Yes, it's good to be seen, to be heard. It's good for parents to be emotionally attuned to their child's needs and wants. It's not a good thing what our parents did to us in this regard. Because when I was growing up, children are to be seen, not heard. You see grown folk in here talking? What you doing in here? You understand? So I understand there are some nuance to this discussion, but I think what's really missing as we continue to strive to grow up. See, growing up has nothing to do with how many times you've made it around the sun. It has nothing to do with your chronological age. It has to do with how you, listen to what I'm about to say. It has everything to do with how you recreate yourself after being raised by your parents. That's true adulthood. So, although being acknowledged, being validated by someone, it is a good thing, but you should not form a dependency on that validation. Do you see? You should not. No one talks about self-validation, right? Self-acceptance. This is the key. Krishnamurti talked about it under the guise of self-awareness. The dark side of being heard. Does the need for understanding mask our fear of intimacy? How emotional exhibitionism undermines relational depth. Oof. The connection between oversharing and avoidance of true vulnerability. 1-800-920-1580. You need to get in here and talk about this. This is real talk tonight. Is the need to be heard a defense against being truly seen by oneself? Being truly aware of who one actually is? Oh my God, you need to hear me. Because I'm afraid to look at me, so I'm going to flip it and make it a relational expectation of you. You see me, you hear me, you validate me, because I'm too scared to do it myself. True or false? The desire to be understood is often a cover for a deeper fear, the terror of truly being seen, flaws and all. Is our obsession with being heard really just a way to control how others perceive us? Oh God, we so broken. We're in the business of perception control. We're so wounded. We're in the business of trying to change how other people think of us and view us. And see, oh Lord. Ego validation or true connection. How modern relationships are failing the resilience test. They didn't see me. They didn't hear me. So I'm justified in leaving. Do you see how it all comes back to self-work? The role of self-sabotage in the relentless search and pursuit for approval. Why resilience dies when validation becomes a currency. Oh, goodness. Is this not the internet? No disrespect to my little sister, Angel Reese, but this is what she's currently going through. We live in a clickbait society. Oh, this dress is revealing and hot, and I'm fine, and I'm free. Let me show it. Oh, I don't like to be objectified. Well, wait a minute. See, you want the good attention. You're fine. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. Yes, honey. Yes, work it, sister. Oh, you're amazing. But when it's, you look ratchet. Or you look like you on the blade. Or when people start getting inappropriate. Then you're trying to control the narrative. That's the question do you understand? We live in a validation-seeking society. So when you hear people say, America is a narcissistic nation, don't exclude yourself. Because I'm going to take it a step further. We're not only a narcissistic nation, we're a codependent nation. We are both the codependent and the narcissist simultaneously. We're always in search of supply. And one of the most intoxicating and addictive supplies out there is acknowledgement, validation. How performative love is replacing authentic emotional labor. Modern relationships have become playgrounds for ego inflation, where validation serves as a currency and resilience is sacrificed on the altar of instant gratification. I'm not here to date your wounds. I'm not here to be a butler to you. My name ain't Alfred to your wounds. I'm not here for that. And neither are you. And if we're good people, and if we've been working on ourselves, do you know we find moments to appreciate the person that is currently sharing our path with us? We find those moments and we go, thanks for being here. Wow. This moment means even more to me because you're here. I appreciate you for walking this journey with me. And I hope you appreciate me for walking a part of your journey with you. Do you see? Listen, could this be the reason why cheating hurts so bad? Your parents cheated you. Ugh. They cheated you by not being emotionally attuned when you needed it. So now, can't nobody let you down. Hell nah. Can't nobody make you revisit that wound that's been aching for decades. Seeing ourselves versus being seen. The silent killer of self-worth in the age of Instagram. When I come forward, the voice of reason, I'm opening the phone lines. You want to talk that talk? Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? what thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
So a lot of people struggle with being addicted or dependent to external validation or belonging. And I want to ask y'all a simple question. How do I become independent of the charity of others to feed me? How do I no longer become dependent on other people's pantries for food? I have to have my own pantry that's stocked. See, you only need external validation when you are not happy with yourself. External validation is when there is a lack of internal validation. See, narcissism involves a dependence upon the opinions of others. This is why narcissists can't tolerate criticism. Because if you tell me that I am a bad person, I don't feel good on the inside, so your opinion determines my reality. Narcissism is about insecurity. It's insecurity at its root. Because if I believed in myself, I don't need your approval.
Gosh, we're not supposed to belong to each other. We're supposed to be one with each other. Do you see? We got it all backwards. Happily ever after, my one and only, the person that's going to love me, the person that's going to take care of me, the person that's going to cover me. You got the power to cover yourself and an entire universe, but you need another universe to cover you. Is that coming from a place of unhealed wounds? Validation seeking, it makes you feel like you've accomplished something because somebody's weak enough to cover you. Oh, you think it requires strength to cover another. But we've already laid it out. So many men step up because it gives them a sense of purpose. Ooh. That ain't your purpose to cover somebody else's wound, sir. So many men step up so they can consider themselves a man. True men conquer their wounds. They don't perform. We talked about performative empathy yesterday, right? We talked about performative behaviors and fronting like the good person. Many men front like the good man because they know that old adage. What speaks louder than words, ladies? Behaviors. All I got to do is act right. And even if I'm acting as well as Denzel Washington, it's still an act. And here's the deeper part. We're so wounded as people, we'll know intuitively that they're acting. But we'll still shed a tear. We'll still be moved by their behavior. Do you see? We're all addicted to validation. How social media, validation distorts our sense of self, the psychological toll of living for likes and comments. Why is it easier to curate your image than it is to confront your truth? My God, 1-800-920-1580. Oh, you gonna look like something. Oh, you gonna smell like something. Oh, you gonna present well. That's what yesterday's topic was about. You got manipulators out here mimicking the vibe, the mood, the flow, the quote unquote class of what's Mrs. Huxtable, Claire. But it's all an act. I know people don't want to hear it put that way. In a world where being seen is more important than self-reflection, are we losing the ability to confront our inner darkness and embrace true self-awareness? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. I want to talk to everybody. After I set this up, I'm opening up the lines. I want to speak to everybody from across the nation. The emotional narcissism epidemic. Are you addicted to being understood? You don't want to spend time understanding yourself. You don't want to cultivate self-knowledge, but you want to be seen and heard and accepted and approved of. Come on! Why the quest for understanding is the new narcissism. Ooh, how emotional dependency on partners create fragile relationships. The toxic loop between validation seeking and victimhood. When I come forward. Ooh, the voice of reason over the phone lines. I want to talk to everybody. Let's get it.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. President Trump ended federal diversity policies Monday, citing discrimination concerns. He hinted at targeting private DEI efforts next as companies like Meta and Walmart scale back similar initiatives. Reverend Al Sharpton called for a boycott of companies cutting diversity programs, citing Martin Luther King Jr.'s fight for equality. He said the National Action Network will act within 90 days. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is pledging to work with President Trump on addressing criminal migrants, stating those who commit violent crimes forfeit their right to remain in the U.S. Adams assured law-abiding migrants they can still pursue the American dream despite Trump signaling plans for mass deportation. And Chicago celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day with events like the Rainbow Push Coalition's MLK Breakfast at Soldier Field. Jesse Jackson Sr. was honored as the first Black presidential candidate. I'm Amber Payton on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
To our beloved greater Los Angeles community affected by the devastating wildfires, we stand with you. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, our hearts go out to those who've lost loved ones, homes, businesses, belongings, and precious memories. In these challenging times, we're here to keep you informed and connected. For the latest updates, resources, and ways to help your neighbors in need, stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580. Together, we'll rebuild. Together, we'll recover. Together, we are Los Angeles strong. KBLA Talk 1580. Your voice, your community, your station. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Today, I'm going to be talking about a dynamic issue. It's a finer point, but I think it's worth knowing because some people who are healing from narcissistic relationships ask about this. What's the difference between seeking approval and seeking admiration? Before I get to that, and speaking of healing, again, go to that link in the video description. Just click on that if you're interested in starting a monthly healing program from narcissistic abuse. Please go ahead and click on that, get more information about it. Love to have you join us right from the very beginning and really get the maximum utility. So each day you really can push further on your healing process. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you want notifications as a reminder of your little dose of anti-narcissism every day, just hit that notification bell and you'll get that information. So without further ado, though, let's talk about the difference between seeking approval and seeking admiration. So a lot of people have wondered about this one. And it was a great question when it came up. I'm like, I should take this one on. Admiration and approval seeking are very different dynamics that can often get confused in the conversation about narcissism and narcissistic abuse, and can leave people who are survivors of narcissistic abuse sometimes wondering if they are the one that's the narcissist. Seeking admiration and validation is one of the core dynamics of narcissism, as you know, and honestly is observed in every narcissistic person out there. It's sort of a required ingredient. We have covered this so many times on this channel, but just as a reminder that validation and admiration seeking is a way for the narcissistic person to keep any threats to their fragile ego at bay. The more admiration they get, the more soothed that they are. So everything in their lives tilts towards them seeking out admiration. And if they don't get the admiration, they get really irritable and angry. Admiration is a tool of regulation for them. So a person who is clearly not narcissistic was asking me, and she was wondering, she said, am I the one who's narcissistic? Because I really do seek approval. And she said she was confused because the approval seeking has landed her in more than a few narcissistic relationships. And I thought, wow, I've heard this question before from so many survivors. This person was confused whether approval seeking and admiration seeking were the same thing, because then she got afraid, oh my gosh, what if I'm the narcissist? And this is a person who had narcissistic parents, who had to sort of really fend for themselves at a rather young age, and then actually went into a couple of marriages with malignant narcissists. She was never noticed for the things she did, never really got recognition, and certainly didn't get approval of any kind from her parents. And she found that she spent her adult life trying to seek out approval, not admiration. Admiration and approval are not the same thing. But once she said that, I thought, wow, it's a really interesting point, and I really could understand that confusion, something that's come up with survivors. Seeking approval is a different process than admiration. Seeking approval is the asking, am I okay? Am I enough? Please let me know if I'm doing okay. Many survivors...
Which one was Snoop looking for? Admiration or approval? Right? If he was looking for money, that would go to the narcissistic side, which would line up with admiration, to be admired by the people in power. Because he's got enough money. We do acknowledge that we live in a narcissistic society, right? Narcissists, according to Ross Rosenberg, right? Narcissists are attracted to codependents, right? Codependents are attracted to narcissists. We're the children of a narcissistic nation. So is he performing to get Donald Trump's approval and validation and acknowledgement? He doesn't need the money. He's good on money. He's probably the most iconic hip-hop artist in the history of hip-hop. So what did he do it for? Everybody's scratching their head, right? Oh, well, look at the Jacksons. Based on how Michael describes Joe and the other kids describe Joe, Joe might have been a narcissist. Right? Very hard, very abusive. Mother Catherine seems so sweet and docile. Maybe she was codependent. The way Jermaine presents, he presents like a narcissist. Them kids was in competition with the natural star, little Mike, who had to put everybody on his shoulders. And then when he got to a certain age, he said, you know what, I'm leaving. I'm out. Broke up with the group on stage at the Victory Tour. This is the last time you guys will see me with the brothers. He had to move on. Tired of carrying the load, right? Put that into intimate relationships. The paradox of validation in modern relationships. In an era of unprecedented connectivity, the human desire to be seen, heard, and understood has grown into an intricate paradox. On the one hand, validation seems to foster connection and intimacy. On the other hand, its relentless pursuit threatens to undermine the very foundations of meaningful relationships. In our quest for validation, a natural expression of our humanity, or has it evolved into a dependency that mirrors addiction? You got to have it. It's not a good man, not a good woman if they don't validate you. Now, at the same time, there's a fine line, and there's a gray area too. You can't be with someone that simply never notices how you contribute positively to their life. But at the same time, that can't be a power pellet either that boosts your self-esteem, your self-worth, right? That you can't be chasing after that. If they do it in an organic way, man, I see attachment styles everywhere. Attachment wounds everywhere. All you got to do is not give your woman something on Valentine's Day. Don't even mention Valentine's Day. Don't plan for it. Don't react to it when it happens, and see the wounds get triggered. You're programmed to be wounded. You're programmed to be codependent. And you're also programmed to be narcissistic. On tonight's topic, we're going to explore this provocative question. We're going to analyze the psychological, the philosophical, and the spiritual dimensions of validation in modern day relationships. I've got callers on the line. I got to talk to them. When I come forward, we're going to talk to my brother, JW, from South Central Los Angeles. First one in the building. Let's get it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're scrolling through social media, and you see someone's post getting tons of likes and comments. Suddenly you feel a pang of jealousy or insecurity. Or what about this? You just got some great news to share, maybe a promotion or an award you worked hard for, but people don't react as enthusiastically as you wanted them to, and it suddenly kills your mood. Sound familiar? We've all been there. We all have a deep-rooted desire to feel accepted and valued by others. That's why we tend to seek validation from others through their praise, admiration, and support. But when we rely solely on others to validate our worth, it can leave us feeling empty and constantly seeking more. Now here's the good news. You have the power to validate yourself. With that said, let's explore a few simple yet powerful psychologically backed strategies to help you gain that inner confidence boost that comes from within. Recognize the cycle. Let's start by acknowledging the cycle of seeking external validation. Take a moment to tune in to your thoughts and feelings. Notice when you're seeking external validation and ask yourself, why? What situations trigger your need for validation? Maybe you've been feeling insecure about something lately and want some praise to boost your ego. Or maybe you didn't get enough attention and praise as a child, which caused you to grow up needing it more than others. Understanding the patterns can help you break free from them. By knowing your motives for seeking external validation, you can find healthier and better ways to address them and start building your self-esteem from within.
Man, the voice of reason is on fire. That was a bluesy little clip. I felt like I was in a juke joint somewhere, but he was dropping jewels. Man, you're listening to the voice of reason on KBLA Talk 1580. We have an amazing topic, and we're talking about this highly addictive drug known as validation seeking. And we're talking about how this drug, the effects of it seeps into our expectations of our partners. And at the same time, we have the answer to it, which is the cultivation of self-understanding, self-knowledge, self-wisdom, self-worth, self-esteem. Do you understand? Self-validation. And as the clip elucidated, that particular point about most of this stuff is happening in early childhood, right? Early childhood, whips, works in progress as parents, toxic parents, codependent parents, covert narcissistic parents, parents with narcissistic traits that aren't technically diagnosable as NPD, but parents that struggled. And it's okay. There is no perfect parent. Not one. So every time they miss a beat, you gain a self textbook. Listen to what I'm saying. A self textbook. Right? Whatever you modeled is the curriculum you must undo in order to graduate into adulthood. And however long it takes you to get there, that's just how long it takes you to get there. Doesn't matter your chronological age. You could be 65 and still a 9-year-old wounded child. Here we go. JW, South Central, Los Angeles. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Hey, how you doing, Zoe?
I'm alive and well, my friend, alive and well. Good to hear your voice in 2025. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, yeah, mutual feelings. Yeah, what triggered me to call in when you mentioned the lumber and the chopping cart wheels and making go-karts.
So not the topic. Okay, cool. That was the good old days.
Wait. That ties into the topic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna paint this mental picture. As a child, during that time frame when we were doing exactly what you mentioned about the wheels and the go-karts and the lumber, I was a kid, and everybody used to say, man, you wear your feelings on your sleeve. Now, you probably heard that expression before, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
But my generation, since I'm about to turn 69 in the 4th of February.
Man, congratulations, brother.
Right on, bro. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would say you wear your feelings on your sleeve. Now, this is grade school. So normally when I call in, I always mention progression or process, and which is really the solution. And now I'm going to paint this mental picture and move forward. Junior high school, I had to go through the learning pains and the growing pains and et cetera. And I can recall maybe around high school, little females would say, oh, yeah, you think you this, you think you that. No, I don't think I'm nothing. Apparently you thought it because you brought it up and the thought never crossed my mind, implying that I had grown from when I was a kid and I wore my feelings on my sleeve to where I had this self-confidence and self-motivation and knew how to reinvent myself and grow and mature and et cetera, et cetera.
You were internally resilient. I'm listening. I hear you. Let's go.
That part. And so moving into young adult and manhood and middle age, you know, I would say to people, being confident and all the above that I just mentioned, I wouldn't care how you feel about me. You don't put no clothes on my back.
Word.
You don't put a roof on my head. Or
Word.
No food in my belly.
Come on.
So I know who I am.
Come on.
I'm leaving it at that. I have more to say, but you got more other people to speak on the topic.
Hey,
matter.
man,
So,
listen, I brought you in. I know you long-winded. I got space for you tonight. What? Come on, J-Dub.
I know I'm the first caller, but yeah, the bottom line is when I call in, and I always use the same basic word, which is process. That's to encourage other people that once we go through this process, no matter how time-consuming it is, once you complete it, you arrive.
That's right.
And like you stated, you know, it doesn't matter. You can be a grown 65-year-old man and have that 9-year-old kid inside you. You know, but once you grow up, you grow up.
Yes,
and
sir.
It takes time.
Yes, sir. Man, let me just say this, man. Like I said, you have no idea how happy I am to hear your voice in 2025, man. You've been with me since we started this thing, and you still here. I love you for it, brother. You brought Los Angeles in the building, and we always miss you when you don't call, man. I love that, man. Thank you so much. You brought South Central in the building.
Yes,
If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Listen, validation is deeply rooted in human psychology. From infancy, the need for acknowledgement is tied to our survival. Developmental psychologist John Bowlby's attachment theory emphasizes that a secure bond with caregivers lays the foundation for healthy emotional regulation and self-esteem. Just because you had two parents don't mean they was two good parents, two emotionally attuned parents. Just because they paid the bills and bought you backpacks and the Care Bear lunchbox don't mean that they were emotionally attuned. And where there is a fall off in the caregiving, there will be a cultivation of something that needs to be reconciled. And I'm talking about something psychological, right? Even if it's the attachment style. Maybe it's anxious, preoccupied. Well, let me lean into my parent to get them to see me so they can validate me. Let me perform for them. Let me be the answer to their every need or question so I can get there. That happens, you know. Yeah. Yet when early validation is inconsistent or absent, a compensatory craving for external affirmation often emerges, leaving individuals perpetually seeking others to fill a void left by unhealed wounds. But why is this yearning so powerful? Is it easier to be seen by others than it is to engage in uncomfortable self-reflection? Carl Rogers, the father of person-centered therapy, proposed that unconditional positive regard fosters self-acceptance. However, our modern culture increasingly rewards conditional validation, whether through social approval, career milestones, or digital likes. This reinforces the belief that self-worth is external, undermining our intrinsic value. Are y'all listening to what's happening? This is happening in relationships today. Who are you to that person? Who are you to their wounds? When we come forward, I'm going back to the phone line. We're going to Atlanta, Georgia. Let's get it.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. President Trump ended federal diversity policies Monday, citing discrimination concerns. He hinted at targeting private DEI efforts next.